and then we can get into discussion. I actually wanted to begin with a story, which was a story that I've told before, but was inspired by the sermon today, the day before Martin Luther King Day. It was the responsive piece on a network of mutuality. And the call was, we were caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied to a single garment of destiny. And the response, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Well, this reminded me of a meeting in Pittsburgh more than a year ago, organized by the Oil and Gas Accountability Project. Brought together people from around the 50 United States and Canada who are profoundly concerned about the impact of this process. At one point, a cowboy stood up, about 6'4", with a hat, and he said, you know, I have to say this. We have been getting screwed by this process out where I live in Wyoming for at least 20 years. And nobody really cared until it came east. And while I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, I thank God that you're paying attention. And the implication was clear. You know, we have been burning the gas and the oil that comes from somewhere else, and now they are here. And so I think there's a responsibility there. The other responsibility, which is a little closer to home, pretty much for my entire lifetime, and you can guess how long that is, the rural economy of upstate New York, and in particular the agricultural economy of upstate New York, has not been so good. In fact, it's been really lousy. And as I'll talk about later, I really think that that's really why we're here. Because if we lived in a thriving economy, in an area where people with land were secure in what they're already doing and able to pay their taxes, I don't think we'd be having this conversation, or it would be a different conversation. So normally when you go to a talk about gas, you begin with a litany about how bad it is, or how good it is, and then it goes from there. I'm not going to do that today. I have 4 points to make. One is that this is a critical turning point in the history of our region. The choice we make now is probably not going to be revocable. Right? This is going to determine what happens for several generations, and those who take action now to support their benefits, beliefs, and interests will really rule the day. The second point is that, and this is again where you often don't find a lot of attention paid to this, we need to really aggressively articulate and pursue a green economic renaissance in upstate New York, and we need to be a little bit better at knowing what we're talking about when we say that. We need to be able to articulate that, and we need to actually have it happen. And when it is already happening, we need to call attention to it. Thirdly, and this is where we get a little more traditional in these talks, the benefits, these economic benefits of gas production, are overstated, short-lived, and unsustainable. So I will do something. Then finally, I'll talk about the movement to ban fracking. So first,